Hello everyone, how are you? This is Pavan and today I'm going to explain you income statement. There are two types of income statement, comparative income statement and common size income statement. Today our focus will be to understand what is comparative income statement, why do we make one and how do you make one. Right? So comparative statement is prepared by a business, and why do they make it? They make it to know the profit or loss they are incurring, how are they doing in a particular year, right? That's why they want to make an income statement, but they also want to be able to compare the performance in one year with the previous year. So they can take those decisions and do all that fancy stuff for the improvement of the business. That is why we make a comparative income statement. So that's the why of it. Now let's see how. Okay, now we have learned what and why of a comparative income statement. So it's time I take you through the format, right? The format you see on here, it has certain columns, and it's very important in this format that you have to be aware of what those columns are and what do they mean, right? The first column is particulars, where like every other format, right? The particulars column is where you write the name of the items, and then the second column is note number, which is not so much used. Then there is an amount column. Now this is where real thing begins, right? So you have to understand and remember that amount of the current year comes first, followed by the amount of the previous year. Now current year literally does not mean the year you are in. That is really defined by the question, the problem you're solving. If it is saying giving you the data of 2021 and 2022, then in that scenario 2022 is your current year and 2021 is your previous year, right? And then once you have the amounts of both the years keyed into this format, the next thing what you do is you find the absolute change, which is amount of current year minus the amount of previous year, and finally you find the percentage change, which is the absolute change that you just found out divided by the amount of the previous year multiplied by 100 in order to arrive the percentage change. The formula is absolute change by amount of previous year into 100. All right, now let's look at the items. Now this calculation has to be done for each and every item that you have in your income statement, right? So revenue from operations, which is popularly also known as net sales. Remember that sales minus sales return gives you net sales. So the question can say net sales, or question can say sales and sales return. You find out net sales. A question might just say revenue from operations. Please pick it up and take it there. Then you got to add other incomes to it in order to arrive at total revenue. Now total revenue on your format is highlighted because it is a total that you arrive at after adding other income with revenue from operations. Once you have your total revenue, basic thing, you minus all the expenses from it. So what are the expenses you can possibly have in your income statement? Cost of material consumed, purchase of stock in trade, change in inventories, employee benefit expenses, finance costs, depreciation, other expenses. All these expenses can possibly come. Now it's not necessary you will have all of them in a question. It can be few or none or one or two, right? When you add them all, you get total expenses. Now this is a second total, so that's why it's highlighted for you. So now next thing what you need to find out is profit before tax. Now to find profit before tax, the two things you need to consider are the two totals that we have done. The first one was total revenue and second one is total expenses. So from total revenue we minus the total expenses and we arrive at profit before tax. Now from profit before tax we minus the tax and we arrive at profit after tax. All right, so this is the format for you. So it's really easy. I think it seems easy. It is actually easy. Now let's see how do we solve a problem using this format. How do we make a comparative income statement? Now that you know why do we make it and what is the format, now let's actually make it. Okay, let's solve this question and apply what we have learned so far, right? And this is gonna complete it really, right? So let's look at this question on the screen. From the following statement of profit and loss account of Ashika Limited, prepare a comparative statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2023 and this is a statement. So as you see, particulars 22-23 and 21-22. Now which of these is your current year? Really, it is the latest year, which is the current year. Like I said, current year does not technically mean the year that you are right now in. As per the question, it means the latest year that is out there, and which is 20-23 here. So this is the current year and this is the previous year. The amounts given to you are revenue from operations, and then there's expenses, which is employee benefit expense. Amounts for both the years are given. Other expenses, amount for both the years are given, and the rate of tax is 50%, which goes without saying. It is for both the years, as you see, right? It is not particularly called out for either 22-23 or 21-22, right? If it is, then you'll have to consider the tax rates accordingly. But now we can safely say that the rate of tax is 50% for both the years. All right, now let's solve this problem. As we already know the format, and you might say, oh, there's something missing here. Oh yes, the percentage column is missing. I'll come to that why I am not showing it right now, but let's get into solving this one, right? So the first item on our format was revenue from operation. Now in the question as well, the revenue from operation does exist. So the revenue from operations amount for the current year is 32 lakhs. So I'm going to just type in 32 lakhs, and in the previous year the amount is 20 lakhs, right? You see, I've typed that amount, and the absolute change, which is the difference of current year minus previous year, gives you 12 lakhs. So we are completing the first three columns. Then other income. Is there any other income in this question? Not really, so I'm going to leave this blank. You can really not write this in your solution when you're solving it on paper, because you do not have other income in the question, right? So of course the total revenue for me remains the same, like revenue from operations, that is 32 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and the difference is 12 lakhs. Coming to the expenses in this question, I have employee benefit expenses. Let's put the values of employee benefit expenses, which is 9,60,000 and 6 lakhs. So 9,60,000 in the current year and 6 lakhs in the previous year. And the difference of these two, 9,60,000 minus 6 lakhs, is 3,60,000, which is your absolute change. Other expenses, do we have other expenses? Yes, we do. And that's 6,40,000, 4 lakhs. All right, so 6,40,000 and 4 lakhs, and the difference of these absolute change is 2,40,000, right? Now coming to the total expenses, this is where we actually add up all the expenses. In this question you have only 2 of them, and you might wonder, oh, on the format there were so many expenses, we have only 2 here. Why is that? Because that's what the question has, right? You just cannot make up your own expenses and add it in the solution. There are 2. Be happy about it. Enjoy the fact that you have just 2 expenses. You got to add just 2 of them. Do add them. You get your total expenses 16 lakhs and 10 lakhs, and the absolute change is 16 lakhs minus 10 lakhs, that is 6 lakhs. Okay, then what's profit before tax? How do we find profit before tax? To find profit before tax, you have to deduct total expenses from the total revenue of each year. So for current year, total revenue is 32 lakhs and total expenses 16 lakhs. So 32 lakhs minus 16 lakhs, you get 16 lakhs as profit before tax. Same way for previous year, the total revenue was 20 lakhs and total expenses was 10 lakhs. So 20 minus 10, you get 10 lakhs as the profit before tax for previous year. Right, this is the answer right there. Now coming to absolute change, how did you find this? How did you arrive at the 6 lakhs? You know it already. Current year minus previous year, you get 6 lakhs. Cool. Good. Now coming to the tax then, less tax. So as per the question, tax is 50%. The rate of tax is 50%. 50% of what? 50% of profit before tax. So profit before tax of current year is 16 lakhs. 50% of that would be what? 8 lakhs. Yes. Yeah. So this is our tax for current year. Same way, tax of previous year will be 50% of the profit before tax of that year, and profit before tax of previous year was 10 lakhs, so the rate of tax 50%, and the tax amount comes to 5 lakhs. That's it. So the absolute change when it comes to tax is 3 lakhs, that is 8 lakhs minus 5 lakhs, you get 3 lakhs, and profit after tax then is a difference of profit before tax and tax. So when you deduct tax from profit before tax, you arrive at profit after tax. And that's what we have done here, right? So profit before tax is 16 lakhs. From that we deduct the tax. We arrive at profit after tax of 8 lakhs in the current year. Then in the previous year, our profit before tax is 10 lakhs. Our tax is 5 lakhs. So the profit after tax, after deducting the tax, is 5 lakhs. And the absolute change always, compare it horizontally. So your current year amount is 8 lakhs minus the previous year amount. You get 3 lakhs as the absolute change. All right. And the final thing missing, and that is the percentage change. Before I show that up, remember the formula. The formula for percentage change is absolute change divided by the amount of previous year into 100, and you got to do it for each and every item on your income statement. So let's bring that one. All right, there you have it. Percentage change, absolute change by previous year into 100. So 12 lakhs by 20 lakhs into 100. 12 lakhs by 20 lakhs into 100, 60%, right? 3 lakh 60 by 6 lakhs into 100, 60%. 2 lakh 40 by 4 lakhs into 100, 60%. 6 lakhs by 10 lakhs into 100, 60%. 6 lakhs by 10 lakhs into 100, 60%. 3 lakhs by 5 lakhs into 100, 60%. Again 3 lakhs by 5 lakhs into 100, 60%. Wow, 60%. Now everything is 60%. Now I think it's lucky for me that I got a problem to solve which has all the calculations coming to same percentage, but that's not the case always. So please do not think that somewhere I saw someone solving a problem of income statement, the first percentage for them came up to 60% and everything else was also same. So when I'm solving a problem, my first percentage is 40%. I can just write 40 for all of them. No, please don't do that. No, you must calculate this percentage separately and individually for each of the items, right? That will make it accurate for you. So what you are seeing is just a coincidence, guys, and it's pure luck, I can say. Lucky for me, like I said, but that will never be the case. Can be in some exceptional circumstances. Anyway, I hope you understood how do you make a comparative income statement. So to really quickly recap it for you, you have a certain columns, you must remember them: particulars, note number, amount of current year, amount of previous year, absolute change, which is the difference between the amount of current year and the amount of previous year, and then percentage change, which is a calculation of absolute change divided by amount of previous year into 100. That gives you the percentage change, and you got to do it for each and every item, guys. You got to do this calculation for each and every item, be it the item itself or the total as well, right? Like total revenue, we did it for that. Total expenses also we did it for. We also did it for individual expenses. We did it for everything, and that's how you make your comparative income statement. Really easy, and I hope you got value from this video. I hope you learned how to make a comparative income statement. So thanks for your time and thank you for watching.